Hello YouTube, so you might have seen my previous video where I tried to fix a puncture in my tubeless tyres. Gave it a go, but ultimately it didn't work. It went down after about a couple of hours. I think the hole was just a bit too big on the sidewall, so I've taken those off and they're going to be future tyres just for use with inner tubes. And I bought some new tyres which are slightly different. They're Cross King, slightly wider, 2.2, 26 inches around. So I think the last ones were 2.0, so just about the right size for this frame. The difference is that these are quite old frames, old rims, sorry. UST, so Universal System Tubeless. They're a little bit heavy, but they don't have to put any tape round, so they're airtight as they are. So it'll be interesting to see how they work, because the old rims are UST and the tyres were UST, so they're made to fit together. And I wasn't sure how these were going to work, if I needed to tape them or seal them. But they've stayed up for a couple of days now. They will probably need some sealant, because they've gone down slowly after about 5 days. But they still pop in the ring as they were before. So this is just a quick video to show you how you install tubeless ready tyres onto old UST rims. This one's done already, and I'm about to start on my second one just here. Now you can actually seal these using an inner tube. You can put an inner tube in, blow it up, and it seats it. I don't want to do that because it's just a bit too much work. So this technique is obviously to use this airshot again to get it to seat in the rim. I've found I've had to use this 2 or 3 times, and then it's only up to about 20 bar once that's in, and it's not quite seated all the way around. So then you pump up to 60, and as you hit about 60, it seats. So it's a quick video to show you how that works. I've missed out the bit where I put the tyre on because it just goes on as a new tyre would do, and I'll start from here. So this airshot I've pumped up to, the pump says 160, but I'm not quite sure the pressure because obviously it leaks a little bit as it's going. So it's well over 100, so I'll give it a go. Hopefully it will seat on the first attempt, but from experience you have to do it twice or 3 times. So here we go. So it hasn't seated because you'd hear a pop. And as you can see, it hasn't really done the job there. So what tends to be the problems with these tyres is that they kind of need seating, and you can do it by hand. That's what happened last time, where I managed to seat one side of it by hand, and then the pressure seats most of it, and then use a pump for the rest. So the reason that worked that 3rd time is that I actually seated half of it by hand, which allows enough air to stay in to seat kind of the other half, but it's not fully seated at all. So now the pump's on, we'll see it's probably at about 20 bar. And when I get to 60, you should hear it pop. Go. 2 pops, that should all be done. Now I've never run these at 60, so I immediately let the tyres down a little bit. As you can see, and hear, there's no air leaking. So I did this one a few days ago. I thought, well, I'll try it without the sealant, but over the course of about 3 days it's gone down a bit. So I will put sealant in these, and that's just the final layer of sealant to stop any air leaking. And it's all done. So these are tubeless ready tyres on UST old rims. But perfectly, just the same as the old tyres. So very happy with that. So in summary, it's a bit of a palaver. It's probably a better technique once you get a bit better, but you can get these tyres on without having to put an in-tube inside, without having to have a full-on compressor. This is an airshot, so you fill it up, and it's always about 100, 120 bar. But obviously a air compressor would put a lot more force for these tyres. You'd do it in one go, but these are about 50 quid, 60 quid. Does do the job, a bit more labour intensive. You can get a couple of pumps where they have the compressor inbuilt, which can probably go even higher, but ultimately you're never going to get the same performance as you do from a compressor. But as you can see there, I think the key is basically try and seat as much of the tyre as you can yourself, either using just a grip technique or some tyre removers. You can kind of seat it, and then that way you keep enough of the air in the tyre that when you do put the compressed air in, it seats enough of the tyre to then finish up with the pump. So it's a bit of a palaver, but obviously unless you buy all the expensive gear, that's pretty much just the way it is. I'll let these down, put some sealant in, pump them up, and that should all be finished.